Welcome, everyone. My name is Cassandra, and this is our Women's Central podcast. And today, I have Kathy with me today. Kathy, we have known each other we were just talking about it, coming up about 9 years or so when you first came to Central.
Yep.
And I remember meeting you, and I remember thinking, oh, this is a really quiet, subdued young mom. You were just so incredibly quiet. And I remember trying to pull out conversations with you, learn your story a little bit. And you were volunteering in kids ministry. So share with the audience a little bit about who you are and what brings you here. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Kathy, and I have been going to Central for 9 years. And I have 4 amazing young men. My boys are my life. We decided to come to Central back 9 years ago because I just wanted something more for them. And I was just amazed at the children's program, and that's why we headed to Central.
And your boys are so much fun.
They are. We're like the sports family.
Yep.
So, again, that was the reason that we came to Central was for the kids program. And when I came, I was coming into not sure about ministry involvement. I had just left volunteering, and I was like, I don't know if this is what I'm going to do, but ultimately my heart was there, and I got back involved.
Yeah, you sure did. And then as you and I began to talk, learning a little bit about your story, if you want to share a little bit about where you were emotionally and with God and just the place that you were in at that time.
It was a very difficult season in my life, and that was partly why I was really hesitant to volunteer, was because I felt like God couldn't use me in the brokenness that I was. And so I kept putting off, I can't volunteer because I'm not good enough, or I'm really struggling in my marriage right now. I can't pour into these kids' lives when I'm a mess inside. And I was really struggling with the okay to do that. But then finally God was like, you know what, I can use you in your brokenness, so go have at it.
Yeah. And as you were working through, I remember you and I would have conversations, and you'd be like, I think this is the path that God wants me on, and this is what we're supposed to do, and as growing up as a Christian, this is the way I'm supposed to live, and this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm supposed to do A, B, C, D. You thought there was a path and a rules, I felt that you thought that you're supposed to be on as a good Christian, whatever that is, right?
Oh, absolutely. When my marriage took a downfall kind of turn, I was like, you know what, I have to save this no matter what. I felt like I'll pray more, I'll do more, I'll keep doing this, listening to more Bible verses, just all of that stuff. And in the midst of that, I was losing myself, and I was literally falling apart. My life I had this white picket fence, the perfect family, mom volunteers at church, dad goes, and kids are all happy, and here we go. And it was not going that way. So I was really struggling with God with why I've done all these right things. I've made these choices. I've put this first. Why is this happening?
Yeah, yes. And I remember talking to you and you couldn't wrap around I'm doing all the things that God is telling me to do. I'm going to church. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing the right thing. So why is my life falling apart right now?
Yeah, and that's what. And I was listening. I mean, I have an amazing support system, at church, with my volunteers in the group. I have a great small group of women that have stood by me through all of this, and I just was banging my head against the wall, what else is there? And there was nothing left. I was just a broken mess.
And what started to make the shift for you?
Well, I really started leaning into Christian podcasts, and listening and filling myself up with more of God loves you, not just the relationship, or not just the the marriage, he is interested in you, Kathy, like not just like saying that, oh, we're married, but we're really not married. And that was a big shift in where I came was because I was just like, I was always focusing on the marriage. Like, I got to hold this together because God hates divorce, and God is going to like, be so disappointed in me, and everyone's going to be disappointed in me. And it really was a shift when I started listening to some of these podcasts and that God really is interested in me.
Yeah. And not only interested, he wants the best of the best of the best for you as Kathy, his daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was not the best Kathy, the daughter. I was struggling. I mean, I was holding it together because I'm a very positive person. So, I mean, most people didn't even know that I was struggling. But, I was holding it together by a string. Pretty much by a string.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would come in, I'd see you, and sometimes I'd just like, oh, let me just give you a hug.
Yep.
Because I know what's behind those eyes right now, and this is, I want you to, I remember just praying, Lord, let her realize how much you love her.
Yep.
Let her realize that in her brokenness that she is enough for you, and that you have so much more for her in this life.
Yep. And it was finally like I had heard from God, like, I love you, Kathy, like I do want what's best for you, like this is not what it's supposed to be, like this is not the relationship. And I remember clearly when I knew it was time to make the change was I was coming back from a run in the morning, really early in the morning, and I always look at the sunset in the morning before I go for a run or jog, and see the beauty and say, God, what do you have in store for me? And I remember coming back, and I remember crying out to God, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, God, I can't. And he said, you don't have to. And that was the switch that was like, okay, I need to make some changes, and I need to step forward in my faith and believe that you're going to take care of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know that process for you took years. It was
it was not overnight. It was over a decade.
Yeah.
Over a decade.
But now that you're on the other side of it, what are some peaks? How do you see your relationship with God now?
Oh my gosh, like so much peace and so much more energy, so much joy has come back into my life. People who don't even know what's going on have noticed, like, wow, you smile a lot more now, or like things seem to be a lot better. I have just like such a peace because I'm not holding on to something that wasn't meant for me to hold on. Like, I have let go. I have like been like, okay, God, I've surrendered this to you. Like, you take it, and he has.
Yeah.
And I've let him take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so interesting. I think so often, no matter what it is, if we're ever holding on to anything like this, it's not going to go well.
No. And I was doing that for years. I kept gripping it. I'm like, okay, this is not.
By the strings, you were just like, I'm holding on. I got this.
And I kept like having excuses like, okay, I can't do it now because this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or this is going to happen. But finally, that one day when I came, like I said, I came back and he was like, you don't have to. I was like, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. Like, I'm going to trust. I'm going to step out in faith, and I'm going to believe that you're going to take care of me. And he has, like, he has showed up.
Yeah. So what are some of the lessons you think you've learned from all of that?
Well, a lot of patience and perseverance, and not to give up when, like, things look bleak and things are rough.
Yeah.
Just to keep believing. And that's the big thing. And I can't even, like, tell you, the support system is amazing. Like, community, people talk about community, but until you're in that community, you don't really realize it. But I have an amazing group of women, and I have a group of friends that have just like stood by me and just like loved on me and like have prayed for me. And when I decided to make the change, like, they helped me like get into a place and like give me things to furnish my apartment, and like, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't be here without my friends and support.
Have you ever been on your own before, like in your own apartment? Is this the first?
No.
This is the first time you've lived on your own.
Oh, this is the first time I lived on my own. I lived with roommates. Like after college, I lived with a few roommates, but I have never had to navigate, and I've never been able to pick out my own stuff, never been able to like live for me. And it's been amazing. Like coming home in the evening and not having to walk on eggshells and not having to worry about like what's going to happen tonight or how am I going to respond or what's going to happen is just like amazing.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like a night and day from when I first met this quiet, shy, very reserved person to today. You're just like, I'm here, let's go.
Yep.
And it's been such a joy to watch you go through that process, and to see how you have allowed God to enter your soul, and to fill you with so much joy. Yeah. When you were like this, there just wasn't like space.
No, there was no space. Joy. And I've had to, like, I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years, and then I had to figure out how to go back to work, and I've had to figure out jobs, and I've had to take leadership roles that have pushed me beyond my comfort zone, let me tell you. And God has just showed up and given me the strength and the words and the wisdom, and it's just funny how, like, people who didn't know me, like, now they're like, oh, wow, you're, like, such a leader, and you're like, whatever. I'm like, oh, yeah, this has been evolving. This is definitely not who I was, but God has given me the strength and the wisdom and, like I said, the support of people to empower me.
Yeah, and that community is so incredible. It's so important and valuable because none of us can do it on our own.
No. And to have that raw community where you can be your complete self. Yeah. Like, you don't have to, like, put on this fake, like, okay, everything's great. Like, like, they knew, like, I was struggling. I mean, obviously not all the details, but they knew I was struggling.
Right.
And, like, I was able to just to be Kathy.
Yeah. And
they loved me.
Yes.
Loved me. That's the key. They loved me no matter.
I think the first time when we started talking, I felt like there was like you felt like, is she going to kick me out of kids ministry?
And I was really worried about that. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. Like,
I can't believe I'm telling Cassandra this, and is she going to kick me out?
She's going to be like, Kathy, like, but
I'm like, no.
But no, that's when they come in, like, leaned in, like Natalie praying for me, like, all of that. Like,
because we need people, especially. And as women, we need other women where we can just say, no, this is what's going on.
Yep.
And it's ugly, and and have people there who aren't going to judge you, who are going to love you through it and point you directly towards God.
Yep.
And strengthen you.
Yeah.
And And now you have, again, now that you've gone through that, what would you say to someone who is in the midst of it?
Oh my gosh.
Or
listen and follow what your heart, like what God tells you to do. Like, don't hold on, like, don't grip, like, let go, like, just let go. And I know it's hard because I actually, it's funny is that now that I've gone through this, I've had some friends or some acquaintances, reaching out or whatever, like, I can't do it, Kathy, like, I don't know how you did it, but when you have to do it, like, you just
right. Well, and I want women to hear this really, really clearly. I mean, divorce is not the answer for many things, but there are times when, and God was very clear.
Oh, yeah.
And you had gone to God for many, many years. Like, there was a long, long history and story to this that we're not going to get into today. But when God brings you to that moment when you are ready to let go, and whether he heals that or whether he tells you to move on or whatever it is that God is telling you, you need to follow. Yeah,
this was I said, this was not my story. No. I wanted the redemption story. I wanted the restoration. Yes. I wanted the, let's tell everybody that, God brought our love back together, and I wanted that so bad.
And you kept doing everything you could to make that happen.
I kept, like, trying to make the pieces happen.
Yes.
And it just wasn't happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just was like, oh.
And God said, just let go, and I have a different story for you.
Yep. And so that's the path I'm on now, and I'm anxiously awaiting to see what he has in store.
Because your story's not over.
It's not over. Yeah. And the boys and I have open conversations. They're in the journey with me.
Yeah.
We're working together. On this, and it's not easy every day. Like, I'm not going to say, like, every day I wake up and I'm like, woohoo, like, this is great. But I'm going to say the peace that I have and the joy that I have now is, like, uncomparable to what I used to have.
Well, I am so grateful that I've been alongside you on part of this journey, and I I'm grateful for your relationship, and I love seeing you every time I come out to Gilbert, and the smile on your face.
And I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I love the people. I love
Yeah.
pouring into them. And now I feel like, wow, I can just give, like, all I have. Like, there's no restraints. Like, here's Kathy. Like, if you don't like me, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for sharing today. This has been an incredible journey of hopefulness and what really happens when you just let go and you just give it all to God and what God can do and what joy He brings and what peace He truly does bring to each of us, because you are His child and He loves you and He wants the best for you.
He does.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. It all helps us. Share this with a friend. If you have a friend who's going through something similar, they might get a lot of wisdom and joy out of watching this and seeing Kathy, who came on the other side. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.